All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're breaking down the anatomy of a betrayal in the spy thriller, Black Bag. We're going to look at how a husband and wife, who are both spies, have to turn their skills on their closest friends just to survive a conspiracy that threatens to tear their entire world apart.
Okay, so to really get what's going on here, you have to understand the stakes. The whole story revolves around this one piece of malware, Severus. And look, this isn't just some virus. It's basically a digital nuke designed to cause an actual nuclear meltdown, and it's just been stolen.
So with Severus gone, the story kicks off with this absolutely chilling accusation. Imagine this, you're George, a top-level intelligence officer, and you're told not only that there's a mole in your agency, but your own wife, Catherine, is one of the top suspects.
So, that's the setup for our central mystery. George has 1 week, just 7 days, to find the traitor before Severus is unleashed. The problem? The suspect list is made up of his closest colleagues, and the one person he's supposed to trust more than anyone in the world.
Now, instead of the usual stuff, polygraphs, harsh lighting, interrogation rooms, George comes up with this brilliantly unconventional plan. He decides he's going to flush out the mole in the intimate, high-pressure environment of his own home. He's hunting for a rat with a dinner party.
And this is where it gets really good, because this is no ordinary get-together. It's a psychological minefield. Every single guest is a suspect, and every little conversation is a potential trap.
And here are the players at the table. You've got Freddie, the self-destructive veteran agent, Clarissa, the sharp analyst who's caught up in a secret affair. Then there's Stokes, the super-ambitious career man, and Dr. Vaughn, the agency shrink who knows everyone's darkest secrets. Every single one of them has a motive, and they all have a weak spot for George to press.
And it doesn't take long for things to go off the rails. The dinner party almost immediately turns into psychological warfare. Guys like Freddie are just putting it all out there, admitting they're completely amoral opportunists. Any pretense of being polite professionals? Yeah, that goes right out the window.
And here's George's masterstroke, a game within the game. He makes everyone come up with a New Year's resolution for the person sitting next to them. A move designed not for a few laughs, but to dig up uncomfortable truths and just completely shatter those professional masks they're all hiding behind.
So as this game gets going, you start to see the carefully built lives of these agents just unravel. It reveals this incredibly tangled web of lies, affairs, and bitter professional rivalries.
What happens next is just orchestrated chaos. First, Catherine drugs the food to make everyone's inhibitions disappear. Then, boom, multiple affairs are exposed in the most dramatic way possible. Even George's own painful past gets thrown in his face. But for George, this is all by design. He throws the rock, and then he just sits back and watches the ripples to see who flinches first.
Okay, and right when you think you know what's happening, the whole thing just pivots. This isn't just about finding a mole anymore. It's escalating into a massive international conspiracy, with George and Catherine caught right in the middle of it.
And things start to spiral, and I mean fast. Day 1, George's boss turns up dead. Day 2, Stokes conveniently finds a £7 million offshore account with Catherine's old cover name on it. Then George goes rogue, ordering an illegal satellite move that, surprise, surprise, lets a Russian general get away with Severus. The mole hunt is now a full-blown global crisis.
So what you've got now are two chess games happening on the same board. On one side, the real traitor is trying to use Severus, frame Catherine, and get George out of the picture. And on the other, you have George and Catherine who are now totally in survival mode, forced to come up with their own counterplan, with one single goal: protect each other, whatever it takes.
And when Catherine says this, she means it. Literally. This isn't just a promise. It's a fact. It seals their pact. Forget the agency. Forget the law. Their only loyalty now is to each other, and they are willing to do absolutely anything to make it out of this.
So all of this builds to the final act. The board has been reset, the stakes are impossibly high, and George and Catherine call everyone back for one last dramatic showdown to end this game on their own terms.
They get everyone back in the same room, all the suspects from that first dinner. But this isn't dinner party round 2. This is a command performance. George and Catherine aren't just hosts anymore. They are running the show, ready to tear down the whole conspiracy piece by piece.
And then it all comes out. The real reason for all this chaos. It wasn't politics. It wasn't ideology. It wasn't revenge. It was just cold, hard cash. £7 million, sitting in an offshore account set up by one of their own, James Stokes.
And this is where Catherine just changes the entire game. She puts a gun on the table. And suddenly, all that psychological maneuvering, all the witty banter, it's over. This is real now. This is about who walks out of that room.
They bait him, get him to confess to everything while they're secretly recording, and when he makes a move for the gun, that's it. It's over. The traitor is taken care of, not by the book, but by George and Catherine, who take total control of the narrative and clean up their own mess.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? I mean, this story isn't just about catching a traitor. It's about understanding the unique, kind of crazy, unspoken rules that allow a marriage like George and Catherine's to even exist in a world built on nothing but lies. And this is their playbook. This is the heart of the whole thing. For them, a successful marriage isn't about trust in the way we think of it. It's built on, well, a shared professional psychosis. It's a partnership where watching each other constantly is a form of love, and unconditional support means you're willing to lie, cheat, and kill to protect the unit. Their job didn't just shape their marriage, it became its operating system.
And in a final, absolutely delicious twist, we find out what happened to the traitor's payday. That's £7 million? Oh, it's still sitting in that Swiss bank account. They didn't just survive and clear their names, they walked away with a grand prize.
So yeah, the story breaks down the anatomy of a betrayal, but it leaves us with a much bigger, much more provocative question. In a world of professional liars, is a partnership built on a shared willingness to break all the rules the only form of loyalty that can actually survive? Something to